Well, the only thing I fight back on that is what I said at the summit, Steiny. The people in Philly don't care. Your friends, the diehards, they don't care about Andy's Super Bowl. We're talking about a certain fan base. So, yeah, Andy went, and now he's got 2, should have 3. D Ford doesn't jump off sides. They might be playing in another Super Bowl. Neither here nor there, Steiny. Eagle fans are only worried about Andy Reid while he was there. So I'm shocked. I understand Kyle is good at his job, Steiny, but don't talk to me about going somewhere else and winning. It's about what you do here. Just like Wiseman and Trey Lance. Whatever they do is not going to benefit the Warriors nor the Niners.
But let's just talk about the what's become easy to say now. And that is, well, who do you want instead of Kyle Shanahan? And there aren't a lot of coaches you want instead of Kyle Shanahan. I don't even know how many. But all I'm saying is this: there are aspects to coaching. Listen, there's nobody. Here's the one thing I've realized in 6 years listening to people talk about Kyle Shanahan.
All right,
there is nobody that says, he doesn't know football. I mean, there is absolutely no doubt that Kyle Shanahan is a great football mind. He's creative. He knows how to call plays. He's
innovative.
All those things.
Yeah,
whether you are a young coach under him or whether you're an older coach that knew his dad, everybody acknowledges Kyle Shanahan. I don't want to use genius, but he's clearly one of the brightest minds in football. That doesn't necessarily make you a great head coach. It just makes you one of the brightest guys in football. Yeah. He's been compared to Andy Reid. Okay, well, let me ask you this. Just what about Andy Reid's relationship with his players, the way he handles his team? How much did we know about that when he was in Philly? What was his relationship like with Donovan McNabb? Was it pretty good?
Yeah, I say so.
Okay, well, that's a big part of coaching. So Kyle Shanahan maybe needs to manage better.
But wouldn't we know something outside of Jimmy's comments?
It's not about a season imploding and a Super Bowl team going to 0-17. It's about getting a team to reach their peak as a leader. And if Kyle Shanahan, as a leader, as a coach, isn't getting his team to reach their potential, then yes, it might be the difference between winning a Super Bowl and losing in the NFC Championship game.
Interesting.
Not necessarily going 6-11 and missing the playoffs. And so, throw a coach at me.
Chuck Knox.
Chuck Knox, the old Rams coach.
Seattle, too.
Okay. Well, I was hoping you would give me a Super Bowl coach.
Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson.
Good call.
Is Doug Peterson a better coach than Kyle Shanahan?
I would say he's more accomplished because he has a Super Bowl win in Philly, and now he's resurrected the Jaguars.
Okay. What are his strengths and weaknesses as a coach? He's clearly pretty creative too, right?
Yeah, but no player, if you tell me how much credence you give this, no player has publicly called him out that I know of. And to me, that's why I checked the box of what you just talk about, the possibilities with Kyle. Is he a leader of men? And I guess from afar, Steiny, if there's nothing played out in the media or no disrespect, don't you got to give that coach?
No. There's degrees to this. If Nahegan were a terrible boss, it wouldn't necessarily mean that we'll go to the media and say, this is the worst boss I've ever worked for.
Don't you think that would get out with the little scuttlebutt?
But what it might mean is that, morale's not great here. And then we're not as good as we should be. I don't know where Kyle Shanahan is. How is he as a motivator? How important is motivation to you guys as a pro coach?
Juice on the First NorCal Credit Union YouTube chat says, ask Guru if he wants Kyle in Dallas. I would give my 2 arms for Kyle in Dallas. So I can say, I'm still watching high leverage situations and play calling because, Steiny, I do believe a genius has so much going through his mind at all times that sometimes they outsmart themselves. And that's why I'm so fixated on these 10-point leads that kind of cost the Niners. when Kyle could actually be walking around here or riding around with 2 rings.
Let's go to Riff. Riff's in Daly City. What's up, Riff? How you doing, man?
Gentlemen, good to talk to you. I text, but I rarely call. How are you?
Cool. We're great, thank you.
Okay, I wanted to weigh in on the 10-year thing. I go back to Kezar and Candlestick Park. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Okay, sorry. I'm 64 years old. Taking over a terrible franchise the way they did, you throw out the first 2 years. This is just my thought. Takes a couple of years to get some traction. In the third year, they went to the Super Bowl, which they lost by the defense, by the way. They give up 31 points. Quarterback didn't help. And then the COVID year, everybody was injured. So if you look at their body of work over the last 4 years throughout COVID, they've been to the championship game every year and got beat by a great offense in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
That's my thought. I think they definitely deserve their tenure.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha. No, fair enough.
Approved.
I'm kind of with you, except I want to make doubly sure, and I want to see what happens this year after the Trey Lance decision kind of falls out, if you will. Then, the other thing is, what makes a great coach a great coach? There's a million different things.
But nothing is more important than winning. And that's
okay. How's Kyle's leadership's a part of it. Like, you've criticized his play calling
in certain situations,
okay.
But I called him brilliant and a genius for the majority of. Steiny, name me a great coach in any league or sport that doesn't have the wins. Like, you can't get great next to your name unless your team, there's some success on whatever on the field.
Right.
So that's the most. It starts there, right?
Yes, but they're not. If Kyle Shanahan's not a great leader, I don't think they're going to win at all. I mean, he can call plays till he's blue in the face.
They've been so close. That's why I guess I'm giving them that benefit of the doubt.
That's fair.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, let's get TJ in here. He called back. What's up, TJ? How you doing?
Good morning, Steiny. Good morning, Goo. Thanks for taking my call again.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I want to say is I just don't get why a lot of Giants fans have an infatuation with signing a big name star. I think that if you look back at the Giants' history and some of the keys to the Giants' success is having a mix between rookies and seasoned vets. And I think to look back, obviously Buster Posey, Madison Bumgarner, Tim Lincecum, Matt Cain, Tim Hudson, Jake Peavy. I can go on. And the Giants are kind of repeating that this year with obviously yesterday's performance by Alex Cobb. So I don't think the Giants need to sign a big superstar. I think their farm system is perfect and they develop superstars and homegrown talent. And when they do that, the stadium fills up. So I'm not even stressed about that. And I just want to finish the call on a completely unrelated topic. What do you guys think about trading Nick Bosa to the Chargers for Justin Herbert? That's all I got. Thank you.
That's
Get
too
him off
funny.
now.
Yeah, wow. Evan would be mad.
Yeah, Evan's a Charger fan, and he's like, hit the pike.
You cannot have Justin Herbert for Levi's Stadium.
Wow, man. Because it's a quarterback league, Steiny. That would. I don't think enough gets talked about now. The relationship
lead, but
between
the
a
49ers
great
don't have one, and
quarterback
it's okay.
and a fan base. Not a defensive lineman who is appreciated, but I'll tell you what, and I came in this morning running hot. I told you and Evan about that erroneous, if it is, report. The Niners, from a PR standpoint, especially after this debacle with Lance, because that's what it is, there's no way in hell Nick Bosa is not going to be a Niner.
Well, you wouldn't
Stop
think so.
it.
You wouldn't think so, but anything's possible.
How would you sell that?
He wanted too much money. That's how you sell it.
Oh, my goodness. To me, there's not too much money for Bosa.
Really?
You are young, DPOY.
So you pay him 40. This is
why they went and got Hargrave? Because they saw this coming?
No, this is why you can't be a GM.
I hate when I think a monopoly.
He wants $41 million.
So that's really $6 million more than what you probably were going to, because we all said he's probably asking for 35 or 41's quarterback, top quarterback month.
Let's just say 40. You giving him 40?
I would.
Okay. So that means you're giving Nick
I would
Bosa
give him 40. I'm being real.
33% more money than Aaron Donald.
If that's what it is, that's what it is.
You can't do that.
Why? Not because he's not worth it. What you and Evan talked about in the green room.
It'll hamstring your team.
And the league will get mad for resetting the market.
Well,
Who
the
cares?
league won't care, but the other owners.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the last on my list. So you would So you're saying to me and the masses listening, there's a price tag on. Like,
of course there is.
You would let him.
The Raiders got rid of Khalil Mack.
Yeah, but I feel like Gruden thought Mack was done.
I mean,
or had his best day.
When the Oklahoma City Thunder had Durant, Westbrook, and Harden was becoming a free agent. They couldn't pay him. They knew they weren't going to be able to pay him. And so they traded him. I'm just saying, if
so then the fact that I can tell you, and we talked about it
I wouldn't
yesterday
pay
at
him
the summit,
anything he wants.
Bosa has all the leverage. Do you agree with that?
I mean, he's got some, but he also wants to play football. But if Aaron Donald's making 30,
yes,
you can't.
And he's a
you can't
badass.
just go 35. Like that's 17% more than Aaron Donald.
I wonder if
that
that's
just
the
doesn't
holdup,
happen in
Steiny.
the real world.
And so and
that's why we're probably somewhere in the middle.
Wow. Do you think there's a chance his ass is not on the team week 1 in Pittsburgh?
I don't know. Yeah. Probably not. I mean, I certainly wouldn't bet. I wouldn't bet Bosa's not going to be here.